Good morning, boys and girls. Happy Thursday, or depending on what day you're watching this video. We should try to have all the readings up through today. Try to get in before tomorrow so we can be ready to start talking about the different characters that we've been introduced to in because of Mr. Turrup. All right, I'm just going to do a quick rundown because we're starting a new month in the school year in Mr. Turrup's class. And that month is the first month of the year, September, at least our school year. And we're doing October. So let me just give you a run through. So we had Peter. Remember, he likes to get into trouble and things like that. Then we had Jessica. Jessica was one who moved all the way from California, and she's into theater. Her father, I think, works in the theater, things like that. Then we had Luke. Luke was very good in school. All right. Then we had Alexia, aka Lexi, and she's kind of a drama queen, right? I think she was kind of likes to stir up trouble between the girls. Then we have to, then there's Jeffrey. Jeffrey, I believe, was a character who kind of hid in the shadows a little bit. Okay, he wasn't a big fan of school, and he kind of liked to keep to himself and things. Then there was Danielle. She lived on a farm with her grandparents, and she would get made fun of, and she was one of the targets of Lexi. Then we had Anna, who was very quiet and reserved. Okay, and those were our main characters so far. We'll see other characters along the way, but those are kind of in this class that we're reading about. That they're the main characters. So we are on to the month of October, and today we are going to read about Peter and Luke. Peter and Luke. All right. So let's get started. I never had something in school excite me before, but the plant unit we did with Mr. T had me fired up. We grew these bean plants from seeds, and once they got big enough, we started doing different tests with them. Variables, Mr. T called them. First, we stuffed the plants in boxes with just a little tiny hole in the side, and we waited to see what the plants would do after a few days in the dark. Anna had a meltdown about it. "I don't want to put mine in a box," she cried. Mr. T had to take her out in the hallway and calm her down. I was kind of shocked. Usually she doesn't say anything. What a weirdo, I thought. It's no wonder she doesn't have any friends. It's a good thing Danielle was her partner. She's the patient kind. Anyone else would have been fuming. My partner was Luke, which was fine. Well, I'm sorry, my partner was Lexi, which was fine. She let me do what I wanted. Next, we put the plants on the side to see how they would grow. I couldn't believe it. The plants bent and still grew up toward the ceiling. That was pretty cool. But the best part was what we got to do in the end. Mr. T let us feed our plant any concoction we wanted to over the course of a week. There was just one rule. We couldn't use an ingredient that would spoil or stink up the classroom, like milk, or something that wasn't good for us to breathe, like gas. There were some pretty wild concoctions. David and Nick used salad dressing because, according to them, plants make salads. The plant will like salad dressing. Brenda and Heather used orange juice mixed with ketchup, and Pepto-Bismol. I don't know what they were thinking. Mine was the best, though. I brought in used cat litter, soda, and a little maple syrup. I did my best to mix it together and feed it to my plant. Lexi wasn't real happy about my choice of ingredients. I didn't tell her. I had peed in my soda bottle some, too. Ha ha ha. "Peter, you moron. That stuff is going to kill our plant," she whined. "Shut up. You never cared about the planet before," I said. "Well, I care now. Lexi, maple syrup comes from trees. I drink soda a lot, and I'm growing. And farmers put animal manure on the fields all the time. So zip it. It's going to work. Our plant was dead in 2 days. Danielle and Anna did the best. Danielle had some natural ingredients her grandmother had taught her about, something the old time farmers really did use, I guess. Danielle lives on a farm, so she has a big advantage. Her concoction worked big time. She and Anna were the only ones to come up with food that the plant liked. Anna was all smiles until Lexi said, you're just lucky Danielle was your partner. She did everything. Then Lexi turned to me and added, even if she is fat. I don't think anyone else heard, but I laughed. I know I probably shouldn't have. Anna's smile disappeared, and she stared at the floor. Poor old Luke sure tried. I think he put too much brain power in it. And he's got a lot of brain power. He's he's been the smartest kid in school since kindergarten. His partner was Jeffrey, but he never does anything. He just let Luke take charge. Maybe he should have helped. I've brought in a number of different ingredients, Luke said, and they'll interact perfectly because of the electron balance and resulting bond formations. He even said something about a periodic table or some crazy thing. Well, you're never going to believe this, but Luke mixed his junk together and it started smoking. The next thing we knew, the stupid fire alarm was going off. The whole school had to go outside, and even the fire department showed up. It was great. Mr. T had to do some explaining, and after a while, we were let back inside. But Luke wasn't performing any more experiments for us. Man, things were just so much fun with Mr. T. All right, now we're on to Luke. All right. All right, now he's a kid who does very well in school. We moved from cool math right into wicked science. The only thing I didn't like about our science unit was that we had to have partners. I prefer to do my projects alone, but Mr. Turrup teamed us up. We were working with plants, and he said we didn't have enough space for everyone to have their own. Jeffrey was my partner, which, believe it or not, worked out great because he let me do whatever I wanted. He didn't care. The only bad part was he was always grumpy. Dollar word. We studied photo phototropisms by observing how our plant grew toward light after we stuffed it in a box that had only a tiny hole in its side. Then we studied geotropism by observing how our plant grew towards the ceiling, even after we tipped the plant on its side for a few days. Then we were given the opportunity to study a variable of our very own. Mr. Turrup told us to manipulate the plant's nourishment. Feed it whatever you want, he said. Make your own concoctions. Jeffrey left me alone. He hated school and everything about it. That day I hurried home and studied my periodic table. I'd received a special chemistry set last Christmas. Hydrogen and oxygen make a special bond when they come together to form water. So I figured I should try to recreate that special bond, which, whatever molecular, dollar word, ingredient I chose. I looked through the chemicals in my set and picked the ones that would result in the same type of electron balance that occurred in the hydrogen and oxygen bond. I took my ingredients to school and got ready to measure and mix. Jeffrey was slightly interested at this point. Mr. Turrup, on the other hand, appeared a little uneasy about the whole thing, but he never stopped me. Luke, sometimes when you mix chemicals, it can cause a reaction, which then explodes. Dollar word. I know, I said. Maybe we shouldn't mix these in the classroom without knowing what's going to happen, he said. It might not be safe. All these potions came from my chemistry set at home. My mom saw it. It's safe, I said, trying my best to convince Mr. Turrup. I didn't tell Mom or Mr. Turp about the few ingredients I got from my dad's garage. I knew it would work. Hey guys, come and look at the stuff Luke's mixing together, Chris yelled. I felt everyone gathered behind me as I began mixing my substances together in a bowl. Before I could feed my plants, something happened. First, the bowl started feeling warmer, then hot. The potion turned dark green, then gray. It started bubbling, first slowly, then rapidly. I knew this was bad. Back up! Everybody back up! Get away from it, Mr. Turrup ordered. Smoke started billowing from my concoction. Then the screech of the fire alarm pounded against my ears. The only other thing I heard was Peter laughing. This is awesome, he yelled. Way to go, Lukester. Outside, everybody outside, Mr. Turrup ordered. I was done for. I was sure of it. Wrong again. Mr. Turrup spoke to Mrs. Williams and took the blame for everything. Even stood up to this fire marshal who always walks through the building for an unannounced fire alarm. The marshal wanted our dollar word posters taken off the hallway walls. He claimed they were a fire hazard. Jeffrey thought that this confrontation was a big deal. Did you see Turrup say no to that guy? He said. He refused to take our posters down. I said, and I saw flashbacks of smoke pouring out of the bowl. I knew I wasn't ever going to be a botanist. Dollar word. At least Jeffrey had gotten excited about something. I wish Mr. Turrup had trusted us so much. Maybe it was because he was a first-year teacher and didn't know better. But I don't think that was it. I think it was a case of Mr. Turrup being a special teacher. All right. And that is it for today. So hopefully you guys are all caught up to this point. And tomorrow we're going to do Jeffrey. We'll get to Anna. And that'll probably be it. Okay? All right. Interested to see what their take is on this whole science experiment. All right. Good job. Have a great day.